My name is Abdul Malik Qasim. I'm the head coach of the AMC Tennis Academy, and I just want to share a story with you. And that was that in 1995 I was invited to Germany to bring some of our underprivileged kids and to compete in tournaments over there. And one of my boys that is standing next to me today, his name is Marlon Abrams. He was only 17 years old at that time when he went with me to Germany, and him and also the other kids that went with me made a great success of these tournaments. We played on clay courts, something new to us, but they did really, really well. I had to leave the country for a few years because I was employed as a professional tennis coach in many other countries. And I had to leave all these kids behind. And when I came back, many things happened to them, you know. Some of them, they went off track, but some of them came back again. Marlon, on the other hand, he made some mistakes in his life. He took wrong choices. But the minute we met again, he said to me, "Sir, please, I want to be back in tennis." And today he's standing next to me, and I'm proud and I'm sad in my heart also. But I'm happy to have him with me. Say a few words, man.
Yeah, what can I say? This man here standing next to me, he's the light of my life, you know, from the beginning until the end. And there was a few years we were missing, about 10, 11
years.
Yeah. And it's good to be back. And I've made the wrong choices in life, but people learn from the mistake, you see. And well, today I'm here, I'm still standing, thanks to the Lord. And yeah, I'm looking forward to play again, maybe overseas, and represent my country, represent my coach. And I want to thank him for giving me this opportunity to live my dream again. Yeah, thank you.
Hi, I'm Aiden Dimas. I'm a tennis coach here at the Paul Huguenot Tennis Club and stuff. I've been working with the community kids for, let's say, almost 5 years now and stuff. I got a lot of offers to go coach abroad, even here in Western Cape, but as soon as I heard that Mr. Malik Qasim is on his way back and stuff, I decided to stay. And just we're currently busy with a huge project that we're working on, uplifting the community and stuff with the tennis that we provide and stuff. So I think in the next year or two we're going to be a huge success. But I'm just glad to be here, and Malik is at my side.
I always had this love for sport in general, and I was a very good cricket player because my parents, my father and the uncles are all good cricket players, so I was always involved in cricket. But I also loved tennis a lot, and I started playing tennis against the wall in a very poor area called Amstelhof. And in 1 year, I was selected for the under 13 schools national team, schools cricket team, and also I became the national South African champion in tennis. So I had to choose between the two. And I chose to be in a one-man game where I know when I lose, and when I win, I win. So I decided to choose tennis. So I started to play tennis on our area. It's a very poor area called Amstelhof, where I started to play in the street. And we used potato sacks to make a net. And the two people that played after us, they had to keep the net. And the two after them, they had to catch the ball, because if the ball goes in the garden, the people will cut up the ball. So I started to play with these wooden bats, and then was later invited to come to the club. My first tournament I only played at the age of 14, a real tennis tournament I started. And in that first tournament I reached the final. I lost in the final, but I think that was a goal for me. I never stopped, I never looked back. I had this desire to become somebody in tennis, and I worked very hard for it. I remember when we were young, and we play in the street, you look up to the aeroplanes and you say, "Bring me chips," and all these funny things. And today, I've achieved my goal, whereas I've been traveling all around the world. I became the number 1 in our area, which is the Boland area. I became the number 1 in Western Province, in the Western Cape. I won many tournaments in South Africa. After apartheid, I joined a club called Bergfleet in Western Cape, where I became the number 1 tennis player for Bergfleet. It was tough because I had to compete with children and young men that was exposed to all the luxuries of tennis, being a tennis player, and it's a very expensive game. So I had to compete, and I even had to work much harder. But I worked very hard. And summertime, wintertime in South Africa, summertime in Europe, I found that many of the top players in the Western Cape, they go to France and Germany to go play tournaments. And I never knew how it worked, so I talked and asked about it. And finally, I'm on the plane with a backpacker bag, a two-man tent, and my racket case, going to Roland Garros to play tennis. And in the first month in France, I played 13 tournaments, whereas I played 3 finals, what was amazing to me. So I achieved a goal that I set to myself, and I never looked back. I'm also a qualified teacher, and I've been going around places. I remember I studied in Sudan, and studying in Sudan, also financial problems, and I saw the nearest tennis club. When I got there, I was invited to play a match. I won the match, and the next day they wrote in the newspaper that a person from South Africa beat the number 3 seed of Sudan, which was a great achievement. They asked around and what my qualifications were. I said I'm a professional tennis coach. I became the national coach for Sudan and also the Davis Cup coach for Sudan, which was, to me, coming from the streets, so to say, it was a great achievement. So I stayed in Sudan for about 2 years, where I was helping the tennis, and also I was studying there. After Sudan, I had to move to South Korea. In South Korea, I was coaching college tennis. It was a great thing for me, a good experience for me. Tennis in South Korea is quite strong. After South Korea, I was invited to England, where I was a teacher and also coaching. I was coaching at 3 clubs. I was coaching national team players from England, and I was very much embraced by the people for what I've achieved. I also played. I played in the County League of Essex, where I really did well. I was constantly in the newspapers. One day in an interview in England, I saw a newspaper where they wanted teachers in Qatar. And there everything started that I applied for the job in Qatar and I was accepted. In Qatar, I was a teacher. I was teaching in a British school. But after winning my first tournament in Qatar, they took me from the school and made me the national coach of Qatar because of my qualification and experience. I was the national coach in Qatar for 5 years with great achievements, with great results. And they were very happy with my work. So I traveled the world basically as the national coach of Qatar. Coming back to South Africa, in 2010, for me as an underprivileged person all my life, maybe the cherry on the cake in my tennis career was when in 2010 I was invited to be part of the South African senior squad to represent South Africa in Mexico. And I surprised everybody to come back to my home country with a bronze medal in the World Championship. So to me that was, I think, the cherry on the cake as a tennis player. For now, I'm focusing on tennis coaching, where for me back in my home country, South Africa, we have a lot of underprivileged children who can't afford tennis. But looking back to my own history, I would have never been able to afford tennis coming from a very poor background. So I want to give back something to my community. And I've started here in my town, where I've went to all the schools and inviting children to come for tennis. I'm playing with them at their school premises with a wooden bat, with a small tennis racket, with the softballs, and I invite them to come to the tennis club where I will be the coach, the academy head coach at the Paul Huguenot Tennis Club. And I hope with your prayers also that this will be a great success. I expect in the next 2 months to have at least 600 underprivileged children filling the tennis courts. And I hope that through good inspirational talks with them, I can make them understand that if you have a goal in life and you work hard and you have a role model, that most definitely you can achieve it. I thank you.